Saturday, huh? Don't sleep. Very important, these two. You know, to invite them are not easy. Okay. But anyway, my job is to interview them so that they can have a heart-to-heart sharing with you. Let's take it very casually. Let's not be too formal or don't dress like that. This one is casual, no? We're old friends, very long already. Okay, so I'm going to start with Dr. Lam. Hey, by the way, you guys know this is New Skin Enterprise.
And so I was educated in Singapore simply because every day I would cross the causeway to come to school. Okay, I would carry a passport to come to school every day. And that's how in the end I got into the dental school in Singapore and ended up in Singapore. So when I was 26 years old, I had some friends and we came together and we decided that we should set up our own business. Okay, honestly, do you think I know how to run a business? Absolutely not. But we were young, we had no idea what was happening, and we thought it was a good idea. Why? Because we think we can get a lot of people to work for us, then we can go and play. Isn't this always what we have always talked about? We always imagine people run businesses, then the boss is not around, everybody has to work, so poor thing, right? So that was our vision, but of course it didn't turn out as simply as that. And we had to borrow about $500,000 from the bank, and we opened in the middle of Orchard Road on the 11th floor with nobody walking by. Okay, so the main thing was that then we realized that, oh, it's not as simple as it is. So we had to work really hard to firstly find people to even come to the clinic, and then we had to work hard to pay off our bills. And I was working all the time because it was really really tough challenge. And then I realized one thing: when is this going to end? Because I always have to sell time for money. I always have to show up. I'm the most important person in my revenue generation. So we got to the point where I asked how much time can I still sell? And I realized that I needed to change. I needed to do something else. But do what? So I didn't know. But my only concept of what I wanted was that I don't need to be there anymore and the money comes in. Why? Because I was there all the time and I was super tired. So I got involved with New Skin because I met a lady, and interestingly she's from China, and she was actually a gymnastics coach in Singapore. And she used to be a world champion gymnast for China, famous in China, and she came to me because she had a toothache. And in the end she decided to show me life pack. Okay, so she scanned me. Nobody can beat my score lah. You know what's my first score? Less than 10,000. You know there's actually such a range? They actually put less than 10,000, that means no score lah, okay? So she talked to me for 2 hours and I bought one box of life pack, and I'm wondering, how you make money? You talk so long. Right? And then the business plan was explained to me, and it was from there that immediately I saw, hey, this is the business I want. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that it can get me to a point whereby I don't have to be the most important person in my revenue generation. And that was what I was looking for. So it was from there that I decided to embark on this business.
Wow. Conclusion, huh? Malaysian, huh? You don't give scholarship, you give. She come back, she won't go back already. Alright, thank you very much. Now let's go to Juin. Juin, you were the Deputy Director of Trades Industry, reporting to Lee Hsien Loong, writing his economic speeches and all this. You were a successful institutional stockbroker. Why and what information did you process to take up this business despite your background?
So maybe fortunately, when my wife and I were first exposed to New Skin, we didn't even know there was a thing called network marketing or MLM. Now, given our background, coming from government and finance, and both of us are finance, we are very much data and logic driven. That means I just look at the data, I look at the logic, I look at the rationality of decision making. So network marketing was never in my mind. And what I saw presented the very first day was a leading anti-aging company in the world. The MLM part came later, and they were at the forefront of innovation. And of course, people talk about innovation being very important, but I've always thought it was very important. But more importantly, I saw that in the people, I had no issue about the products working, because they were selling so much of it in so many countries, especially in countries like Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, where the women there are much more sophisticated users of skincare than the women in this part of the world. Okay. Then I saw, more importantly, that the people who were doing the business come from all walks of life, but a lot of them were professionals, doctors, business people, women, men, different age groups. So I presume that they also use a rational approach to look at the thing. I'm sure they didn't come in because they love to do skincare. They came in because they all want to achieve the same thing that drives all of us when we have families: financial security. So I saw that, and at that time it was very proprietous that we had 3 young daughters. My wife, even though she was a stockbroker, she said to me, "What's the point of making all the money in the world if you don't bring up your kids right? So why don't you carry on making the money, and I stay at home and I take care of the kids? And maybe I might do a side business, maybe early education or Pilates." But to my mind, all those businesses are hard to do. It involves a lot of things. But so when I saw this business, I said, my financial mind, my logical mind told me, no downside, only got upside. Okay? What's the worst case? I buy a box of product, it don't work, that's all I've lost. Okay? Nothing more. And better than that, there's no factory I need to open, no shop I need to rent, no inventory, no manpower. There's only upside, there's no downside. So the long and short of it was that actually I meant this as a business for my wife, and she attended the first few months of meetings. And one day she said, you better come and look at this business properly. It's much bigger than you think. And one of the persons, I remember, she directed me to one of our uplines called Janet Yao. Taiwanese lady, very clever. She was a master's in physics, MBA in something. She was a chief financial officer of some utility company. So I was thinking, someone like her is doing this, there's something going on. So I went to look, I really studied it, and I said, good, we're on to really do this business. So I think the important thing, and this is something that I want to share with you, that I see in all the successful people in this business, it's not the how, but once you make a decision that this is the one and only vehicle to transform your life, especially the part of money, financial security, everything else will fall in place. There is no more trying, because you will not try to achieve financial security so that you can put food on the table. Let's try to see whether I can pay school fees for the kids. Because if you don't, you'll be thrown out of your house. You can't pay the mortgage, right? So to me, once you've settled and made that one decision, then everything else will fall in place. And this is what I will keep driving at whenever you ask me questions about how to overcome obstacles or who can do this business. And I say, look for people like that who really see this as the one vehicle to get what they want in life. That's all.
Thank you. Let's go through with you on the second network marketing companies outside. Okay. If I were to choose network marketing company, if you were to choose a network marketing company today to build a business, what do we need to look out for in selecting that network marketing company?
I think first you got to look at, if you intend for the whole idea of going to network marketing, you want a long-term assured cash flow. So in other words, if you were deciding to buy an insurance policy with an insurance company, and the payout might be in the event of death or in the event of hospitalization or some sort of a yield over, I don't know, the next 20 years, how would you choose such a company? Will you choose some company just set up yesterday, or you want to choose one of the known names, Great Eastern, Asian, backed by some bank, or government or something like that, right? That makes sense, right? That makes sense. So number one, you need to choose a company with an established track record, because the payoff is not tomorrow, but well into the future, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Secondly, the financials has to be rock solid. So many companies at a time of high interest rates just go down, just like that, okay? And thirdly, and probably very important today, is innovation. And innovation is very much of the company's DNA. In fact, if I think about it today, Nu Skin probably is innovating far too fast for most of us to catch up. And those of us who are involved in the business, we can't keep up with the number of new spas they come up with, and this and this and that, and the supplements, okay? But that's a nice problem to have. And last but not least, compensation plan. What is the compensation plan? Even though Nu Skin is part of network marketing, which is part of direct selling, I will not join a direct selling company because it's just selling time for money. Whereas a network marketing company, they pay you for selling products, which we all have to do ourselves, but they pay you more on building your team, which gives us the most important thing in Nu Skin, leverage. If you cannot leverage, you will always remain average. Okay? If you want to make the big bucks, you got to have 100 Pizza Huts. If you want to make money in a medical practice, one clinic is not going to do it. You can have 1,000 clinics, or better still, 10 hospitals. So everything today in business is about scale. If you don't have scale, you'll be toast. Okay? So I think all those attributes, they're all in Nu Skin. And I think only a few network marketing companies would have these attributes.
All right. Then when you clap, please clap until your hand hurts. Because your hand will burn off the carbohydrate we just get. Okay, so we're going to go back to Dr. Lam. Now, she used to run a traditional business, 4 dental clinics, right? And I understand that managing doctors may be more difficult than managing nurses now. Okay, and then your $1 million investment nowadays, right? So, and you're always occupied with running it yourself. Okay, so when you started a business part-time you started this business part-time and running 4 dental clinics, how did you cope?
Okay, I think we're always thinking about like how do you juggle the time to do this, correct? The main thing is that for me I saw was that if I didn't do it, then what will my future be like? It's going to be the same as everyone else. I digress a bit, okay? About 2 weeks ago, I bumped into, before I started my dental clinic, I worked for somebody in private practice for 2 years. I bumped into my really old colleagues, and at that time I was a young 20-something-year-old dentist, and they were my seniors who are in their mid-30s or late 30s. So I look up to them, I say, wow, next time like them, like that. Because, they're successful, they have the car, they have this and that. So I look up to them, but then I kind of lost touch with them. And I bumped to them after many years, right? And then they said that coffee lah, so I met up with them, 2 of them. And the part that surprised me the most was that they're all very interested to ask me, how much are you working now? So I have already sold my whole dental group. I'm kind of like working for fun part-time, like twice a week. And everybody's asking, so I said, like, this is twice a week. So I said, how about you? You know what's the response? The same number of hours as when we were working together nearly 30 years ago.
Oh my God.
They are in their mid-60s.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, but I thought they can retire already. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, I didn't realize that a choice can make such a big difference. But it was because I couldn't see myself having to keep going to work until I don't know, because I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. And I saw Nu Skin as my hope. Okay? So what did I do? So honestly at the time, my clinic, because we made all the business mistakes you can possibly make, high overheads, nobody come, we do all those things, right? In order to survive, because in the daytime, we are just barely making ends meet. I got no money to pay myself, you know. So at night, you know what I did? I had to work for other people to feed myself. So I would locum in the clinics to work. So literally for the first 5 years, or more actually, I was working every day. My only off day is public holiday. How many public holidays in Singapore? You're very little one, okay? So when I started New Skin, I was working those hours, but because I was very determined to say, hey, I need to make a change, so I would find time to meet prospects after office hours. So it would start at 10 p.m. Next one, 11. That time younger people would come and meet you at this hour, right? 12 o'clock, because can go pub, bar. I went to so many of those pub and bar with a loud music blaring and having to try to try to find their hot button, you know, in those scenarios, or it will be those 24-hour coffee shop, and all they sell is roti prata. Okay, so those are 24-hour coffee shop. So I had to do that. But when Oliver asked me this question, actually I was thinking, was it really about coping about time? Because it's not just me. There are a lot of people out there who take 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Okay? Is it about coping about time? Actually, the thing that I found that I had to cope a lot with was actually, it was really out of my comfort zone. Really, really out of my comfort zone. Which one mentioned about being introverted, extroverted. Personality is one. My personality, best for dentists. I've already said this, right? Because the patient don't talk, I also don't talk. Perfect, right? Okay? So it's always best. But then the out of comfort zone was having to deal with people not agreeing with me. Because I go to the clinic, I'm doctor, Doctor, I tell them you have to do this, they just go, oh. Right? Everybody is, you feel respected, you're agreeable. But the part that I had to cope with was, why are you doing this? Your business not good, my sisters and my friends, I come from all girls school. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Because I'm more tomboyish, right? I know nothing about skincare, so don't put on my face, you know? So they have all these things that I'm dealing with, which is, and also to call people. Last time, every SMS must pay money, right? So, to call people, right? And I was so scared of calling people. The phone rang 3 times, I put down the phone, never answer, because I was so scared of them answering. So the thing that I found that I really kind of had to cope was, how can I deal with being out of my comfort zone? Because making time for the business, honestly, we can make time, and we will make time if it's purposeful or meaningful, but the end result is there. But the part that I really had to deal with was all the things that I didn't like to do.
Wow.
Yeah, and learning about skincare, oh my god. And learning about supplement, it's so difficult, right? And having to put this and that and then make mistakes again and again. But the thing is, after I met my 2 friends 2 weeks ago, and they tell me they're still working the 5.5 day work week, I'm thinking, is the choice worth it or not? My life is completely different. And then they just told me, you're lucky lah, you start your own business then, You know? Yeah, so in terms of the coping, sorry, I so long never thought, I realized I need to put notes. Right? It was really the mental aspects that to keep that going.
That is, even if you're a dental surgeon in Singapore, you're not retiring. It's that tough. The cost of operation here.
I did ask them, why are you all going to retire? Oh, we might think about it lah. Then I said, you can also work 2 times a week like me, what? You know what's the reason? My kids, they choose to do arts, I still have to support them. But I'm thinking, it cannot be, right? So in reality, we still really have to work because it really is selling time for money. We can earn good income, but I couldn't foresee myself keep doing it because I was doing it so intensely when I was at the younger age. I couldn't see the end of this lifestyle.
All right. I'm going to follow up with the second question for you. I'm going to ask a very basic question. It's very obvious, but I think it's important for you to communicate. In comparison with running clinic chains or traditional business, why would you choose New Skin business model?
Okay, bear with me, my answer a bit long. Okay, the obvious ones, right, is, well, of course, cost, okay? Because it's very, I mean, you never realize how stressful it is to chase real overheads on a month-to-month basis, you know. It's really stressful. So, and the cost, right? And the frustration with scaling a business. So I never imagined that I want to run a business with like, I just open a clinic and then me and one nurse. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But I opened a dental group because I want to go and play, right? I want to have people work for me, right? But then the next question is, then how then can you make it work is to scale. But in traditional business to scale, let's say for my clinic, how do I scale?
Open another one.
A few ways. How do I earn double? First question is, firstly, I charge you double. That's one way. But I mean, how many times can I charge you double? Okay. The second way is I double my number of hours. But I cannot double any more already. The third way is I double my number of clinics. Right? So what does that mean? It doesn't mean I double the amount of investment, you know. It can be I quadruple the amount of my investment to double the number of clinics. Right? So capital, running overheads and costs, and very difficult to scale. And then global, how to do global, forget it. Okay? People talk about AI, online business, so fun. What online business? Dental business do what online? I give a Zoom meeting and ask you to take out your own tooth by yourself. Right? So, difficulties with that. Right, and then the frustration also is traditional business is, yeah, I got dentists to come and work with me. I train them really well. You know what they do next? They go downstairs and open another one and with my competition. And this really happened. They went downstairs and set up another one. Right? So there's so many different frustrations, okay? And then most people don't realize it's very easy to start a business. It's very easy.
But it's very hard to.
Why I say so? I tell people to look at New Skin. You know what they do? They think, then they go and spend 100,000. They say no money to start. But then they can find $100,000 to go and set up some kiosk somewhere or some small cafe or F&B. It's very easy to start a business. But nobody ever thought, what's the end result of you starting a business? Do you have an end game? Do you have an exit strategy? Nobody thinks about it. And then when it comes to exit, it's very expensive to exit. It's very expensive to close a business. So why my clinic, even though when we were young, we started, we made a lot of business mistakes. My partners wanted to quit. But why we never? Because it's very expensive to undo the whole business. So we have to keep on chasing it. And traditional business, you know, whether you like it or not, it sounds simple, then this business, whatever business, we always have to stay relevant. Means what? The older I get, I still have to try and be innovative with my business to make myself competitive with the younger people. But after a while, I don't want. You know, I don't want. But then I cannot. Because if I run a traditional business, if I don't stay relevant, then my business goes bust. So when I look at New Skin, actually, when I joined New Skin, for the first week I didn't even know it's MLM. Okay, I didn't know. I only knew 1 week later, but never mind. Okay, what I saw was the business. But with New Skin, you look. I mean, today we had Dr. Ren come and talk about Prism and all these things. You know what? I don't have to think about how to make myself more relevant and keep up with times. You know, my business is relevant. My business with Nu Skin is global. I can scale it. I have partners. And if my partner, for whatever reason, not happy with me and building the business, maybe they don't work with me, but it's still my partner. They don't go downstairs and set up another clinic. Okay? I hope I'm saying the correct things.
Correct, but continue. What you say, the less I need to work.
Yeah, because I mean these are the things, but one of the things that we talk about differences with the business, right? There's also similarities between a traditional business and Nu Skin. Okay, one of the similarity I want to highlight is this. Okay, first, we have to agree that we are here to grow a multi-million-dollar business. Okay, we have to agree on that. Because if not, we can just sell any business, okay? But then in the same way, my clinic, I want to grow into a multi-million-dollar business. So what is the similarity between Nu Skin and traditional business? I have to recruit. The similarity, why? To grow a multi-million-dollar business, you think you can do it by yourself, man? Can you do it alone? Can you do it? To grow my clinics, I have to get dentists, right? I've got to give them something beneficial to them, right? I have to get investors, right? To grow it even bigger, and more people involved. So I always have to go out there to pitch a business. To show people that we can collaborate. It must be win-win. So Nu Skin, I found the power of it is because I have the ability to grow it multi-million-dollar. But it's the same basis as traditional business. Recruit. We have to grow the business that way. So if you feel I don't want to ask people to join me to do business, not my thing, then don't think of multi-million-dollar business already. Okay? So that and essentially one other thing which I really love about Nu Skin is that it is really a business like Grab. It's really a business like Airbnb. Meaning what? What is Grab and Airbnb main business? Do you know?
Service.
You know what? It's connectivity. Okay? It's connectivity. And connectivity business is in multi-millions. Because I don't have to own the inventory, means no cost. Right? All I do is I connect, just like Grab, those of you who took Grab here, they connect you to the driver, right? So all I did was I connect people to buy from Nu Skin. And we do it worldwide, we do it with our partners, it becomes a powerful multi-million-dollar business. So when I look at Nu Skin being a network marketing business, I say it's very, very powerful because you get the result like a traditional business, but you don't have the headaches of a traditional business. Which is why, one more point. Okay, one more point. Sorry, so long. Are you bored? One more point is the use of time. Do you know when you run a traditional business, let's say like for me, when I run a traditional business as a dentist, we do things which is very obvious. I see you as a patient. That's what I call revenue generating activity. But a lot of times, because I'm the business owner, I do a lot of other things that don't generate revenue on. Nurse fighting, the water leaking, the machine spoiled, the landlord not happy, all kinds of things that take up a lot of time. Whereas in Nu Skin, all these difficult things is done by Nu Skin. You know what I do? I spend my time on revenue generating activity. And because I can do that, then actually with a condensed period of time, I can be more effective than actually running a traditional business whereby most of your time you are actually firefighting all the non-revenue generating activities. Right? So that's why it's a very, very, very powerful business. So answer very long.
Very long. Anyway, by the way, there's another dental surgeon over there. We talk, she ha ha ha.
I realize she's my relative. No, really. Show me a picture of my grand auntie.
I don't know why got genetics on teeth one. But she don't know the power of renting places here. She's renting places in Malaysia. Huh?
Is she you 10 years ago?
Oh,
Can I ask you, is she you what you were 10 years ago?
She, me, what 10 years ago?
Is she doing what you were doing 10 years ago?
Was I doing what she's doing 10 years ago? What do
No,
you
no,
mean?
no, no, no. Different dental surgeon. So pull Malaysian teeth, some pull Singapore teeth.
Okay, I never met her because she married. You married into the family, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's like my.
The next question is for Juin. This one is very, very current. You guys better don't sleep right now. Really?
Yes.
So Juin, with the global tariffs by USA influencing the global economy right now, what is the relevance of New Skin business amidst all these challenges, especially when we're opening in India?
Okay, so just to give a bit of a context, our very own Prime Minister Lawrence Wong thinks it's serious enough for him to do a TV thing on it, you know. And I think I saw on YouTube some other nations are showing this clip. So just to put it in context, the last time I think I was watching April 2nd, the date as it approached, like most market, I was watching it very closely. I was really quite bearish, but even the more bearish people like me, we were totally overwhelmed by what came out. Just to put it into context, the last time the tariffs were at this kind of level was in the 1930s, the Smooth Hawley tariffs. A little bit of history, 1929, and from the 30s onward, the tariffs really made the depression a lot worse. And then it was a non-globalized world in the 1930s. I think two things will happen for sure, even if Trump was to eventually back down, which I think he has to, because if he does not back down, I really fear there could be a depression, not a recession. But even if he did back down, there are two things that will happen. One, prices will go up. When prices go up, and we really witnessed this in the supply chain shocks following COVID, all consumers have less money in their wallets, and we have to prioritize what to spend on. Of course, we still have to pay school fees, we still have to pay mortgage, but there are other things we can cut off, okay? But the other more serious thing, which we didn't see in the previous cycle of supply chain shock, this time is very serious, will be job losses, okay? And Asia, especially Southeast Asia, is very hard hit. Singapore and Malaysia have gotten off quite lightly. So the first round effects, maybe Singapore, Malaysia will get off a bit lightly, but we will not escape. Okay, so if this carries on, those who are immediately in businesses related to export trade here and in the region will be affected. But all of us in one way will be affected by rising prices and job losses. So I think for the rising prices part, I've always advocated we need a bigger spread of customers in our GSV. Because people are going to be a lot more careful. Maybe previously they don't think very much about putting in 1,000 points and then buy another 1,000 points for my husband, 2,000 points. But now they'll be thinking prices have gone up again. I will hold back. Okay? So you need a bigger spread to diversify your risk. But I think the uncertainty, the business uncertainty, the job uncertainty part is the part that is the most relevant. Okay? I remember during COVID when we all locked down, people were very worried about their jobs. So that's why a lot of people attended our Zoom, because they didn't know how long the uncertainty would last. And actually our business did quite well during that period, if you remember. But after COVID, people thought, oh, things are going to go back to normal. So they got a bit complacent. They went back to their job, but things are not so good there. So I think this is the part we need to play on. This job uncertainty, business uncertainty, this time round is going to last for a while. We really have to go out and push the business as one to secure long-term financial security, not just over a post-COVID or post-terrorist. This is going to be a long-term thing. Okay? So I think this is no better time than now to have a bigger spread of customers, using more products, have more people look at the business to attain long-term financial security and total peace of mind.
Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Clear now. Okay, time. Short. The world is now talking about a giant direct sales company making an entrance into India. Okay, let me hear your views about this entrance.
Okay, I think this morning most of us are here, right? And I think Casey did a very, very good training on why we should look at India. You know, the size of the market, it's scalable. The wellness industry is big. So all these things we know, okay? But I just want to share with you that actually, we come from Singapore, we come from Malaysia, and even though I so-called sold my whole dental group, I still have friends and people around me who come to me and say, hey, can I talk to you about business expansion? I say, what business expansion? And they're talking about medical and dental groups or wellness kind of businesses going into larger markets, for example, Vietnam, Indonesia, China, right? So what I'm saying is that always people, there are a lot of people trying to go into big markets in wellness, okay? So for me, when I look at it, if I didn't have new skin, I probably would have sat there and explored more, okay? But then I only realized that only I can take part in it. So why I'm really excited is because, do you know how many rich people out there are trying to break into big markets for wellness? You're not excited, I'm very excited. Why? Because as an ordinary person, I can break into a big market in wellness because of new skin. Do you think we should give new skin a big round of applause? And every time they tell me, when you want to break into a market, do you know all the different laws, the difficulties to even set up a business in another market? It's really, really hard. And even if I want to go and set up a chain of clinics in JB, I think my hair will be even whiter, okay? So even more headache, right? But do you realize that what New Skin, this direct selling platform, what the beauty of it is we as ordinary people without any capital, with an online presence and with connections to India, without having to have license, without having to go and do all those bank account, all those things there, we can actually build a wellness business in India where everybody else is trying to get in. So do we see opportunity, or do you see, so difficult India? I asked my neighbor, she don't want to talk to me. Where got Indian, right? Or do you see difficulties, or do you see I have a once in a lifetime opportunity?
Yeah.
Because we have first mover advantage, of course, because of the timing. But you must realize that everybody out there is trying to break into bigger markets. It's true, okay? So for me, I see that, and I want to grab this opportunity.
All right, loud and clear. After Casey, after her, it's loud and clear, right? Okay, now I'm going to go back to Juin. Just speak shorter. Why does this New Skin business opportunity attract so many professionals and business owners like yourself? What is the level of passive income that can be realistically achieved, and what is the true value of this income as a result?
Okay, I think the golden period for professionals is well behind us. Maybe it was in the 70s, 80s and 90s where if you're a professional, a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, you were assured for life. I mean, you still make good money, but it is getting harder and harder and harder, right? The hours they work, and not everybody rises to the top. And as you heard from Inkiet, the professionals that she looked up to then are still working at hard, if not harder, you know. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, my daughter is a lawyer in London. She works impossible hours, but she's only in her 30s. Can she keep doing that in her 40s and her 50s? I don't know. It's very hard. Okay? So I think professionals in this age realize that while you can still get a high income, the hours you have to put in, the toll that it takes on your physical and mental health, and really in these very uncertain times, your one retrenchment or one health unfortunate health outcome away from losing everything. Okay? So I think the level of uncertainty is there. The cost of earning that income is getting higher and higher. What was the second part of it? Okay. So I think that when I saw that my uplines were professionals, it was very easy to deduce that they must be making at least tens of thousands or multiples of that per month for them to do it part-time initially and then quit to do it full-time. So it was not a difficult deduction. And I looked at them, I said, it's not as if they've got something very special. Yeah, they may be called doctor or whatever, but they had no previous experience in skincare. Some of them couldn't really talk properly to save their lives, but it was the vehicle. So clearly, just from observing then, and I hope also by you observing now that a lot of professionals embrace the business eventually full-time, must mean that the payout must be in terms of tens of thousands and multiples of that per month, which I think is a number that will attract quite a lot of people. Okay? Now, how do you quantify this as an asset, right? So, if you have a constant stream of income, let's say $10,000 a month, that will be $120,000 a year. So maybe I reverse the question. Today, if the CPF government said, Singapore government said, we want to be kind to you one time, you can put as much money as you want into the special account and I'll pay you 4% for life. What would you do? You would do it, right? Because 4% for life, secure. Now, how much money would I have to put into CPF special account paying 4% to get $120,000 a year? The answer is 3 million. Right? 3 million times 4% is 120,000, 10,000 a month. So just from that annuity kind of calculation is worth $3 million. Now, how many of us, without any special skills, if you're Sun Yanzi, a singer or surgeon, maybe you can make that kind of money very quickly, but I think for the rest of us, it's almost impossible. Okay? Another way of looking at this as an asset, and I know in this part of the world, we all love to look at property. Either we buy ourselves or we help our children to buy. What would an additional $5,000 a month mean for your mortgage? $5,000 a month over 25 years, you can finance another $1 million of mortgage. That means you can easily buy any of this $1 million property in the resale market. If it's $10,000, it's $2 million of mortgage. Now, only if the number is assured can you dare to finance a mortgage, and you will in turn build an asset in property through that. So I think this is a point that a lot of people don't understand, that if you get a constant stream of income, it's the leverage factor that I'm most interested in. It's a lot more than you think.
All right, give me a big round of applause. Flat here in Singapore. The last question. Everybody will say, "Wow, heng, last question, huh? What would you like to say to the audience here, especially those who are still sitting on the fence? Who would like to start this?
Oh, okay. A lot of times, when you're sitting here, I mean, you might be thinking, wow, this Linkiat, she run business before, ma. So of course she know how to run business, right? It's easy because sometimes when your friend asks you to come to look at the business opportunity, the word business already is scary enough for you because you don't know how to do business. Okay? In the same way, when I first started my business when I was 26 years old, I didn't have any idea how to do business. We thought we did, but we didn't. Okay? So what I would say is that if you want to evaluate the business, you should not evaluate it with your analytical skills and brain. Okay? Why? Because it's very easy to just analyze. And honestly, if I did that with my dental business at 26 years old and we analyzed and looked at numbers, we wouldn't have started. But because we didn't, then we started, then we realized, oh, like that. Okay? So how I would say to approach it is really virtually anybody who starts a business really approaches it this way. Number one, you must have your vision. So my vision when I look at this business was, I just want to make sure the money come in and I no need to work for it. Okay? In simple terms. Actually, I didn't know what I was trying to say, financial freedom, but I didn't know lah. Okay? So that vision. The second thing that you need is actually courage. Really, the courage to step out of the comfort zone, the courage to do something completely different, the courage to do something which you don't know tomorrow is do what. Okay? Because truly running a business or any form of entrepreneurship feels like that every day. Okay? But can we have courage? Courage is not from the gene chip one. It's not genetic one. Correct?
Yeah.
It's not like we eat some supplement, we become more courageous, right? So can we be brave? We
Yes.
can, So courage, vision, and what I call tenacity. That means whatever it is, you will see through. You will just die, will make sure that vision happens. If it doesn't happen, we suck it up, we be brave again, we form the courage, remember our vision, and we have the tenacity to see it through. If you have this sort of spirit, we can make this, we can do this. And you know what? We all have this sort of spirit. It's not some special gift that we need to actually look at the business. So with that, I wish you courage, vision, and tenacity.
Thank you.
Human beings and financial markets are driven by either greed or fear or combination of both. My generation, we were driven very much by insecurity, financial insecurity. So we went from third world to second world to first world, and constantly we're thinking, I need to get a degree, I need to get a job, I need to get financial security. The concept of time freedom is something we never think about. Right? You just work to make sure you have enough money, and then the next generation you buy a house, the next generation good life, go to university, get a good job, pay off your mortgage, and have a nice retirement. Okay? Simple, but things are not so simple these days, right? We're living longer, but we might be getting retrenched even earlier. So, first, I would say, if you're not driven by financial security, or you do not fear financial insecurity, you probably will not be driven to do anything. Okay? So, I think whenever I talk to my girls will say, Daddy, money is not everything. I say, who paid for your education? Who paid for the house you live in? Who paid? It's easy for you to say because you grew up at a different time from mommy and daddy, right? But now when they have to pay their own bills, money, so please do not tell me money is not everything. Mr. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, say, do not say this. Anyone who say this is really quite stupid. Okay? And this man has every right. He's worth I don't know how much, right? So number one, I'm gonna do this business. It's okay. I am driven by money. Okay, I am driven by money because I want to give my family the best life possible. Not just now, but well into the future. If you don't have that, and you latch onto it some other things that seem to imply you're very noble, but you're not doing it for yourself, actually, from what I see, you will drop out quite soon. I'm just being the bad cop and telling you facts as they stand, okay? Once you've decided that you want financial security above all else, then as most of us in this business then begin to find out, wow, there are other benefits like time freedom. I was able to watch my two girls growing up. Both my wife and I are very enlightened parents, so we don't worry about PSLE and their exams. All I ask for them every year at the start of the year, I just want to see their sports schedule, when I can go and watch all the matches. If not for new skin, how can I possibly be watching a basketball match on the Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock? Or so on and so forth. You know, in fact, there were several times when I was watching and the other girls and even the coach was asking my daughter, how come your dad is here like Tuesday morning, Thursday afternoon? What kind of business is he in, you know? So,
Loan shark.
yeah, that's what my daughter said, he's a loan shark. So only loan sharks have this kind of time freedom, you know? And then loan shark got a lot of runners working for him, you know? So I would say, number one, I see without, and this is something that my wife and I, we are very conscious right from the beginning. We wanted to model, we wanted to see what kind of people would succeed in this business. So if I look for this kind of people, then more likely than not, we will succeed. So most people think it's extrovert. Most people think it's people with lots of network. So if I go to India, if I can find the mayor of Mumbai, I sure make it. Oh, it doesn't work like that. You know? Number one, this person's going to be driven. This person's going to be driven on the business side to make money. Okay, how you want to use the money is up to you. Okay, once I find a person like that, then I just have to show this person that this is the vehicle to make his or her dreams come true and help this person to find other people like that. And the rest will all fall in place because I know a lot of you will be asking me the how. The how is not the most important. For example, if you really desire to get on a bicycle and ride a bicycle, would you be asking, what if I fall? What if I do? I mean, yes, you will fall. A lot of things can happen. But if you really desire to ride a bicycle, I will teach you. You will fall, okay? But you will learn and you will enjoy. But if you don't desire it, you will drop out. So I would say is this: if the need is not strong, you will drop out. Don't bother. Okay? You want to do it, you'll be prepared to put in some hard work. You'll be prepared to go through obstacles you've never gone through. But if not, you cannot do it. And one of the things that one person said about me from the beginning, I think this is probably my first or second month. He said, I don't understand a word of what you're saying, but you clearly believe in what you're doing. So my belief was 100%. So I said, are you going to sign up? Of course, this person did not sign up. But what was very apparent to this person, even though I may not know what I'm doing, I clearly believe, and this person was kind enough to wish me well. So do you see the point I'm making?
Yes.
You can master the script, but if you don't believe, you're not passionate, you'll never make it. So I just want to leave you with this. If you're looking for something to really transform your lives, not just in financial terms, but in health, happiness, total peace of mind, I can say you won't find anything better than this. That is completely risk-free, has only upside and no downside. Lots of work, hard work ahead, but we'll be very happy making this journey together.
By the way, he paid his scholarship for his two daughters to Cambridge. His scholarship. So this is how much this company.
My daughter, in fact, last night's thing, I think she said last night's recognition, the younger one said, and she remembered what I said, sell creams to fulfill dreams.
Dr. Lam gave up 4 dental clinics to do this business. Government scholar who turned network marketer. The boss became Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lam and Tan Juin. It's a $2 billion company. It's listed in New York Stock Exchange and 40 years of successful record. Like what he said, look for a company with a track record. It's 40 years old, it's not 4 years old. Right? And guess what? In Forbes, it was listed as 100 most trustworthy company. Very quick introduction. About the products itself, we are, in terms of our weight management business, we are number 1 in Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea. We are number 1. We are the largest selling brand by an independent party. And if you have an iPhone, you go to Siri. If you have Android, go to Google, and you Google this. What is the world's number 1 brand for beauty device systems? And you will see what will come out from your handphone. It's Nu Skin. Nobody uses their hand to wash their face anymore. Okay, if you're still using your hand, you might as well use your feet. You all use instrument already. What's the other thing I can share with you? Do you believe in science? Yes. Do you believe that Dr. Lam used science to pull your teeth? Huh? Or no? Do you believe that doctors use science? Yes. Of course they use science. I won't go and see doctor. No. What is science? Huh? If the doctor says you have high blood pressure, how does the doctor know? They measure using a high blood pressure machine, right? They didn't say, hey, your nose red color, high blood pressure. No doctor will say that, right? They measure, after they measure, they will give you a drug called beta blocker. They say this for your blood pressure. It's clinically tested. Then they'll say, come back in 3 months, I measure again. To make sure that this drug is working in this body. The ability to measure before and after is the basis of science. Tell me a supplement company that do this. Only our company. It's called a biophotonic scanner. Okay, I got news for you. The size is going to shrink until left the size of a puck.
Yeah.
You can put in your pocket, you can go anywhere to scan people. You'll be a traveling health consultant or scanner. Okay. Again, for some people who do not know that, we are in genetic science. And you cannot just copy genetic science and duplicate like Dr. Lam, who announced that's open clinic. You cannot. Okay, genetic science cannot. You can invent a bun with pork floss on top, you know, the flat top.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, next door. This is H-lock, it's genes technology. You cannot just copy. It takes 30 years to do it. Right? What else? Let's talk about India. 1.4 billion people in India. Can you agree that there are more people than Singapore? But you're not laughing. It's very obvious. And 1.2 billion of them are internet users. Whoa.
Oh.
Okay. 65% below 35 years old, which means they are the only continent. It's literally a continent. This. That's not aging, you know. The rest of the continents are aging rapidly. They are the only one not aging. Can you imagine that you do network marketing, your whole organization all 50 years old, 1, 2, 3, all die. Age, man. Young people. And the main player in India is Herbalife. What is Herbalife doing?
Weight
Weight loss.
Yes.
Okay. It's 785 million itself. Or 97, 797, around there. 800 million. Okay. Just listen to this. We are in network marketing in 40 countries, 48 countries, and we are in weight management. Herbalife was the largest network marketing company in Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea once upon a time. You think we can do the same tango to them?
Yes.
Of course we can do the same tango to them. But the difference is now it's a bigger scale. If you're not excited about India opening, I do not know whether you're excited. There is a requirement, a lot of Indians here, Indian descent here, there's a requirement by the Indian government, not by the company. The Indian government say if you want to recruit into India, Indian. They don't care about your nationality as long as you're Indian. So I cannot recruit in. I gotta recruit an Indian so I can put everybody under a person. That's the requirement from the Indian government. Yes. Okay? So you see now the 600 million Singapore Indians become very important really. There's 70% Chinese useless already. No, ticket. I always think that you're always spending time robbing the bank. You have a face cover all the time. Okay, and what can our weight management do? By the way, we have been champions in Singapore right across. We won all the championships. There was 1 team, there are 5 finalists, all 4 came from us. Okay, and let me show you what they got. That means our coaching program is solid already. Everybody can sell the product, but not many people know how to coach. And we've been champion right across. You're looking at the grand champion in 2008. A long time ago, when I still had collagen. Long time ago. This grand champion, her name is Jessie, she's not here today. She had used 10 different programs her whole life. And when I met with her, she said, I've used 10 different programs, it didn't work. And I responded to her, since you've done 10, then try 11th one. She said, oh yeah, So she did, and she said, I've never lost so much weight in my life. Okay, today her nickname is called Small Tree. You know what Small Tree is? Xiao San. Because she liked to go drinking with the husband and her friends. So the one day after she lost weight, she went the husband's friend said, you know your husband used to bring out the wife. Now look like the third party one. Mistress. Mistress in Chinese is small tree, xiao san. The third party lah. Okay, she very happy. We call her small tree. What? Coffee. This is Alex. Alex is a finance director in our local hospital, so he has seen enough. And he's a major in the army, basically. Okay, so he lost 13.1 kilograms of fat. The number we put down there is fat loss, not weight loss. Weight loss is beyond that. I think he lost about 15 years ago. Now he's on 20 kilo already. He's also not here today. Then we have Taha. Oh, we multiracial. Where's Taha? 11 kilograms of fat. That's the coach. Hey, Coach Alfred. Hey, Coach Alfred has been hiding inside there all the while. Taha is one gentleman, I'll remember him because I never felt short in my life until I stand beside him. This guy is 2 meters tall. Also our champion. He's also from our group. Okay. Last but not least, this is Syed Omar, 8.1 kilograms of fat loss. Also our grand champion, and he took the current TRB product, grand champion. And today he's here. Let's put our hands for Omar. To share with you. Omar, come. Hey, this way, Omar, you can come across here.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, you can see from the transformation which I had. Yeah. Do you think this program is a fluke? Definitely not. Because in the first place, when I entered this program, I couldn't believe myself that I'm able to achieve this weight loss. And most importantly, what that attracts me to this program is the sustainability at the end of the program. You need to say, after the program ends, how can I be able to sustain this kind of body physique? Will I go back to my old ways? Well, the answer is very clear. I'm still what I am now. You can see I'm still what I am in my weight loss. And the thing is, I'm able to be disciplined enough to watch my weight, watch my food, and I think it's an achievement, considering my age at the age of 53 now. Okay. I think that's what I've got to say. So, for venturing to India, I think it will be a very big thing, because I'm also an Indian. So, to go into India, one has got to understand the culture. Importance of the culture. What do the Indians in India eat, their lifestyle, the food they take in? We Singaporean Indians are different from the Indian Indians. That's very clear. It is the food, the lifestyle. So we need to embark on learning what they want to do and what they want to get out of the program. So this is where the challenge is. So I say we can do it, no problem. We can do it. I'm 100% sure we can do it. Okay? So that's what I've got to say. Thank you so much.
You know, he has an emergency at home, but he turned up today because he said, I committed to you. Give him a big round of applause. In closing, I'd like you to ask your sponsor, the person who brought you here this thing. I'm going to draw some Chinese words. You can read, that cannot read, doesn't matter. 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 strokes, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke, 4, 5. That's 5 stroke.
自由
That's 6 generations, 5%.
Wow.
That is the Chinese word for freedom.
Whoa.
Such a coincidence, isn't it? Alright. So,
Love that.
ask the person who brought you here today and ask them to do 2 things. Can I watch a video about the company? Number 2, can you draw on a paper and show me 5% 6th generation? Or 6th generation, 5% is the same. Okay. Ask them to show you. If you understand this, you will probably not be sleeping. If you sleep like a baby, ask them to withdraw. Don't understand. Right. With that, I close the BOM today. Thank you very much, but it's not the end yet. Just give me a big round of applause.